Hi all, welcome to TechFest Java. In this video, we are going to discuss about the facade design pattern. This is basically one of the most important design patterns. So what is facade design pattern provides? Basically, facade design pattern hides the complexity of the system and provide an interface to the client by using which the client can access the systems. It is basically a kind of a front layer where all the subsystems can hide their complexities in behind this facade layer. So it is basically providing an interface by which only the client can interact, and the internal complexity of the system will be hidden by this facade pattern. So wherever we have multiple subsystems and the complexity of interaction between these subsystems are huge, at that time we are basically implementing the facade pattern to make the interaction between the client and the system become easier, because the client interacting with the facade layer, and facade layer will decide which system need to be process that particular request and providing that response. So that way the facade pattern is implemented, and it is basically one of the structural design pattern. And if we talk about business case scenarios, so suppose we have one application, and that application have a multiple type of database interactions, like MySQL database interaction as well as Oracle database interaction, and there is a multiple type of reports also generated, like PDF reports and XML reports and Excel reports, all these things. So whenever a particular outside layer need to interact with the system, and that system doesn't know that what type of where to lie, or how to interact with the MySQL database or Oracle database to get the information, and how to generate the Excel report or a PDF report. So for that the client system will only interact with the facade pattern and providing some inputs, like what type of reports it requires and which database connection it requires, and facade pattern will do internally interacting with that particular report generator and the collector of database and providing the details. So that way facade pattern hides the complexity of the system and provide an interface to the client by which the client can access the system. So let's just jump into the implementation part of this. Okay, so for the implementation of facade design pattern, I have created one Java project, and there I have created one main class. Okay, now I'm going to take an example of a simple application where basically on the basis of some parameter we need to make a connection or get a connection from MySQL database or Oracle database. So for implementing that thing in facade design pattern, what I'll do, I'll create two classes, one for MySQL connection provider and one for Oracle DB connection provider. So yeah, MySQL DB connection provider, and here I'm simply taking an example of get taking an get MySQL db get db connection return simply I'm taking an example of this connection tree and returning this tree. So I'm taking just an example. So here I'm taking an tree, and on the basis of that I'm asking just to format generate Excel, or I would give an example of get employee detail. Which is simply nothing but providing an employee detail. I'm just printing it in like employee details are return employee details from MySQL DB. And similarly I'll create one more class that is called basically Oracle DB connection provider, which is basically doing nothing, having a same type of method. But the thing is, in place of MySQL, it is providing details from Oracle database. Now, in this class, main class, what I'll do, I'll create one method which is basically public string get employee detail and here I'm passing database string db type, and on that I'll do one thing. I'll create switch case, and this switch case I'm passing this value, and here if it is MySQL, then what I'll do, I'll create an object of firstly I'll call get db connection, and then call get employee detail, and from here just return the statement, so there is no break is there. Okay, So now, or simply what I'll do, here I'm creating one employee detail which is basically nothing, having a null, and here in place of returning I'm initializing with it breaks, and here return this employee detail object. Similarly, I can mention one more case. It is basically for Oracle DB, and here in place of MySQL we can use Oracle connection, and similar thing we can do this. And here we are doing nothing, but we are just we can make this as a static so that we don't need to make an object of this. So from here we can just pass the MySQL, take this. So after this statement it will create a connection from MySQL and return this and print this. So what I'll do, I'll just print out emp detail. So this will return detail from MySQL, and similarly if I'll call same object and passing same method and passing here, so this will return. So okay, let's just run and then we can discuss this. Yeah, so as we can see that one first calling it is returning database connection and object from MySQL, and in second calling it is returning for Oracle. On the basis of this parameter we are passing. So here basically this particular class method is working as a facade pattern, where a client doesn't need to know about how to get the connection of MySQL and how to get the employee detail. The only thing is that he can pass that parameter, and the facade pattern will decide that on the basis of that parameter which class should process this request and return the response. So this is basically a facade pattern. It is a very important pattern, and in general applications it is mostly used many places, because we don't want to open the complexity with the client. We can hide those complexities of the applications by using a facade pattern, and the client generally interacting with only the facade layer. So that way we can do that. So that's it for this video. If you like this video, please like it, comment it, and subscribe my channel. Thank you.